What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to the Rebuild Challenge here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Today, the three-peat challenge, but a little bit of a twist. I want to give a huge shout out. Let me read the comment real quick to Peyton Burpee for commenting this on my rebuild yesterday. He said the three-peat challenge, but every year your starting five has to change. And that's what we're doing today. So this is a pretty self-explanatory one. The goal is to win 3 straight championships, and every single offseason, my starting five has to either be traded, I have to let them go in free agency. No matter what, they cannot be on this team next season. Once again, big thank you to you, Peyton. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. Of course, you guys have been commenting tons of rebuild challenges and ton of ideas. All thanks to you guys. We're going to be hopefully getting to the majority of them. Of course, if you guys do have any more, feel free to comment them down below. I am always reading the comments, and I really do appreciate it. While you're down in the comment section, if you've not done it yet, maybe subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton while you're down there. If you could leave a like, as we are on the road to 30K, man. This is not an easy challenge. We're going to be doing it in a fantasy draft style. The CPU is going to be drafting my entire team. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing this one in a fantasy draft rebuild style, and we're going to let the CPU draft the entire team. I think it adds a different element to go ahead and make this one a little bit more challenging. So we will scroll through these teams randomly. I will shut my eyes so you guys know that I have no say in whatever pick I get, and we end up with the Detroit Pistons. I would say we've been doing the Pistons a lot. I feel like we have anyways, but I don't want you guys to think I'm cheating. So we'll just go ahead with the Pistons. Again, they're going to draft the entire squad for me. I'll see you guys with this team. And here's the team we're going to be working with. Kawhi Leonard is going to be leading this squad. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the entirety of the NBA. When healthy, unfortunately, we're only going to have him for a year, but it's still a really good foundational piece to start off with. We also have Christian Wood, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith, Dwayne Dedmon, Lamar Stevens, Patrick Williams, Stanley Johnson, Furkan Korkmaz, Joshua Primo, Sharif Cooper, Robert Woodard. Okay, so obviously with three-peat being the goal today, we have to make a lot of moves. I also want to go ahead and just show you guys that I did not forget. Once again, we're now 2 videos in a row where I remember to turn off previously traded picks. Huge W for myself. I'll take the applause. Thank you very much. But yeah, I got to make this a championship caliber squad basically before this season starts. So let's get into some trades. Our first trade is going to be coming here with the Miami Heat. We're going to send them Patrick Williams and Buddy Hield for Wendell Carter Jr. and Tyus Jones. We get a really solid option at that power forward spot here in Wendell Carter Jr. Again, if I had some time, I'd love to go ahead and develop Patrick Williams. I think he could potentially be really good for us. Unfortunately, when I have to win a championship every year, I don't have time to just keep him on the bench and hopefully have him get to be as high of an overall as possible. So that's going to be our first trade. We also acquire Tyus Jones, who either could be a bench piece for me, or I might include him in a trade. I'm not sure yet, but first trade is in the books. Acquiring a really good shooting guard is something that I've been trying to do for a couple minutes now, and I'm kind of landing on CJ McCollum here. I think he'd ultimately be a really good scorer on this team. Can obviously shoot the three-point ball pretty well, and if I look at the way this trade's probably going to go down, Kyle Lowry, just too old, really going to lose some trade value as the years do go on, or the year goes on. Jalen Smith's going to be a backup center. I'm not really too worried about my backups right now. I think Dwayne Dedmon for a year is more than serviceable, and then our first-round pick most likely won't be valuable because we'll hopefully be in the finals. So CJ McCollum would be a huge upgrade, and they agree to that. Wow, just like that. So CJ's actually going to get moved to the shooting guard spot where he actually played in Portland for quite some time. I believe he's playing a little bit now in New Orleans at that shooting guard spot. Or actually, would Halliburton go up more? No, Halliburton goes down as well. All right, we're definitely not done at making trades, though, but we now have a really solidified starting five. We do have to work on the bench a little bit, though. We're going to go ahead and improve the bench here with this trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Lamar Stevens, Stanley Johnson, and a second-round pick going over. O'Shea Brissett. Luka Garza coming back to us here in Detroit. O'Shea Brissett coming off a year of just under 11 points, 5.5 boards, and just under 1 assist. So I will definitely take him as my backup 4, which was something we were really lacking. We also get Luka Garza, who's going to go ahead and be probably on just in the reserves, but could be a trade piece down the line because he obviously will not be starting. So I'm very comfortable with Tyus Jones as the backup to Tyrese Halliburton. I do need to work on that backup shooting guard option just because I'm not really comfortable with either one of these two guys being in on a championship team. Kawhi will not have a backup. Brissett will be fine there. Dwayne Dedmon's more than fine there. And then we'll probably try to include maybe a guy like, honestly, I can throw in Primo or Sharif Cooper along with Korkmaz, and we can see if we can get an upgrade at the backup shooting guard spot because other than that, we're pretty much fine. So Primo or Cooper. Primo's making a little bit more money. Let's see if his trade value is a little bit higher or whatever. Just for somebody at the shooting guard spot who's maybe a 76 plus overall, really would like to solidify that bench before we do go into the season. He actually has 3 stars in trade value. Wow. That's something that's really good to have. Terrence Davis, 8.5 points. That's not too bad. Again, I'm not looking for somebody that's going to be a make or break. Whoa. Do I do this deal here with the Indiana Pacers? We obviously really don't need a backup point guard. Gary Payton II would really add a different element to this bench unit, I think. Ooh, or I could get a guy who could score the ball on Kevin Huerter. That's actually not a bad idea at all, I don't think. I would rather not give up another first. That's why I'm a little bit more willing to maybe do this deal here with the Suns versus this one here with the Indiana Pacers. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and acquire Kevin Huerter, who's on a multi-year deal. Obviously, he's going to be coming off the bench, so we don't have to trade him in the offseason. We also get Dwayne Washington Jr. He was undrafted from Ohio State, but that's a pretty good trade in my opinion. I believe we're all done, and yeah, let's set the rotation. We made a pretty good amount of moves, and I think this team is pretty much set up for some hopeful success, ultimately. Tyrese Halliburton, CJ McCollum, Kawhi Leonard, Wendell Carter Jr., and Christian Wood. So those are the 5 guys that no matter what have to be traded after this season. I believe that Christian Wood might be a free agent. No, he's not. Is somebody here a free agent? I feel like somebody is. Nope, nobody's a free agent. So I'm going to have to trade them all. If not, I was going to have to let them walk, which really would have sucked, but I'm very comfortable with being able to trade all of them after the season. Ultimately, I really need them to play well for me now in hopes of winning a championship. This is the bench unit. This unit can obviously stay. I can trade them. I can keep them, whatever it may be. But these are the guys that are going to hold down the bench unit for us this year. Tyus Jones, Kevin Huerter, Dwayne Dedmon, and O'Shea Brissett. It's a decent bench. I don't know if it's necessarily championship caliber. I think the one thing we really do have going for us is that obviously when you do a fantasy draft, the NBA really does tend to even out. So hopefully we can start out this video hot and win a championship in year number 1. Let's get into it. The first season ends and on a pretty good note, in my opinion. We're the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. We're number 2 in the power rankings, which maybe scares me a little bit, but ultimately I think we're in a really good spot to hopefully start this video off on a really good note. Luka Doncic, your MVP. No shocker there. Jalen Green, your Rookie of the Year. Cole Anthony, 6th man. Giannis Stevens, Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. Rick Carlisle, Coach of the Year at 58 and 24. All right, standings-wise, we go 58 and 24 as well. So we're tied with the Indiana Pacers. We ultimately did take the tiebreaker here. And I'm excited about that. Player stats in the year, Kawhi leads us in scoring. Really solid pickup with CJ McCollum. I'm super happy about his production. Christian Wood was really solid as well. Averaged a double-double. Tyrese Halliburton, Wendell Carter Jr., Tyus Jones, Kevin Huerter, Dwayne Dedmon, O'Shea Brissett. Also, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of you asking me, why didn't you trade Tyrese Halliburton for maybe somebody who's a little bit more established? And the reason that being is because he's on a rookie contract, and I really didn't have anybody to match it with that really could have fit into like the spot we had money-wise. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we got the best value out of Halliburton that we possibly could have. That's just my opinion. We have the Toronto Raptors here in the first round. TJ McConnell, Bogdanovich, Markkanen. Yeah, they have a really good front court. I think we're a lot better. I'm pretty confident we go to 7. That is not how I want to start out this playoff run, but nonetheless, we move on. Our old friend Kyle Lowry, Malcolm Brogdon, Jimmy Butler, Larry Nance Jr., Andre Drummond. Oh boy, that's a little scary. We win game 1, we lose game 2 against them. We win game 3, we go up 3-1, we close them out. We're on to the Eastern Conference Finals here in the first season. That Indiana team lost in the first year. First round, excuse me. Oh, they had Luka. That explains it. Let's check out this Bulls squad. Simmons, Curry, Keldon Johnson, Isaac, and they have Embiid. Well, we beat a really good center in round number 1. Who they have? Toronto? Yeah, they had Anthony Davis. So again, it scares me a little bit. I'm hoping we can get to the finals here. We're up 3-0. And we're in the finals. We have to take on the Mavericks. Van Vliet, Booker, Ingram, Kuzma, Turner. Wow. That's a really deep team. And it's honestly kind of similar to us, if I'm being honest. It kind of reminds me of us a little bit. Like, really good star player, obviously Kawhi, and they have Booker, and then a really good surrounding cast, with them. I'm scared, honestly. I'm not going to lie. We win game 1. We win game 2. Let's fucking go. Whoops, excuse me. Let's go. That's the note we wanted to start out on in this video. Kawhi Leonard balls out. Unfortunately, I do have to trade you now, but let's go. That's a huge start to this rebuild. Honestly, exactly what I was looking for. So, we'll hit the draft lottery. We obviously don't have any picks in it. We didn't trade for any first-round picks this year. We actually traded away our first-round pick, but it's not important to me. You can take a look at the entirety of the draft lottery right there, along with the rest of the order. You can see the 76ers do have our pick at number 30. We really weren't going to use it anyways. I'm not a huge fan of Dwayne Casey. I've said this in a video when I had the Pistons recently. He did just win us a championship, though, as a head coach, he was the coach of a championship team. So I'm not going to move on from him. It would feel a little bit dirty and a little bit wrong. We do not have a pick this year. I really wasn't planning on using one anyway, so we'll get through team player. Oh, no, this fucking glitch. It's the most annoying glitch in the planet. Hopefully the game doesn't crash, because sometimes that does happen. Robert Woodard doesn't need the qualifying. Sometimes the game crashes when this happens, and I'm really hoping it does not. All right, we got some free agents. I definitely want to bring back Tyus Jones. We're going to probably be making a decent amount of trades. I'm going to sign and trade Dwayne Dedmon probably. Woodard can go. Craig can go. That's fine. Yeah, we're good there. Okay, it is now time to officially start making some son of a bitch, this fucking glitch. Let's get into it. First trade here, coming with the Charlotte Hornets. Kawhi Leonard and Dwayne Dedmon heading over to Charlotte. And Mr. Jason Tatum is going to be coming back along with PJ Washington. I was also considering this one, but I think we can maybe get a little bit better value for Wendell Carter Jr. And again, I'm not saying this isn't good value for these two players. I'm just saying that I think Jason Tatum's just a little bit over the edge, and especially in this game anyways. I'm also a diehard Celtics fan, so you can maybe call it a little bit of bias. But nonetheless, Jason Tatum coming in, obviously going to be our new star on this squad. We are not done making trades, though. Second trade coming with the Atlanta Hawks, CJ McCollum and Sharif Cooper for DeAndre Ayton, really solidifying that center spot. You can take a look at some of the other deals here. I'm not going to lie to you, really wasn't feeling any of those. And we get DeAndre Ayton just like that, so our center position is locked up for year number 2. Jamal Murray would be a really good upgrade at the point guard spot for us. I would love to have him on this team. He's coming off a really solid year of 20.5 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, and 1.5 steals a game. He'd be an upgrade for us. And the only reason Kevin Huerter's in here is because he has to be to make the money work, and I would rather not give up. I think I'd rather trade Kevin Huerter than Tyus Jones, if I'm being honest, and he honestly could be in a trade too. So let's see if they will do this. I didn't think so. Let's hopefully just get this done with second-round picks. That would be super ideal if possible. I will give up a first to make it happen, but I'd rather just do seconds, and they didn't want to. All right, how about 1 first in 2026? Are you serious? How about if I threw you like Dwayne Washington Jr.? And they agree to that. All right, Jamal Murray, welcome to the team. We now have our point guard figured out, our small forward, and our center. We now need a power forward and a shooting guard. This might be a bit of a risky one, but honestly, I think something like this could pay off. Now, you might be saying, looking at this, you are dumb as hell. Why are you doing this trade? And let me explain this to you. Wendell Carter Jr. is making just over $14 million a year. I don't have a ton of trade options or a bunch of salary that can really match that. I'd rather keep my bench as much as I can because I think having a good bench is ultimately really going to translate to help us winning a lot of games. If I trade for Jonathan Kuminga, who progresses unbelievably well in this game, I ultimately really think that's a good idea. That was really explained weird. But Jonathan Kuminga, Ricky Rubio coming over for Wendell Carter Jr., a first, a second, Luka Garza. That's a good trade because we also get Ricky Rubio, who can really be a cap filler for somebody like Tyrese Halliburton, who's now going to get moved for a shooting guard. Here's the trade we're going to be doing with the Memphis Grizzlies. Halliburton, Ricky Rubio, in 2 seconds over to Memphis for Josh Giddey and Malachi Flynn. What really sucks is I set the rule for myself that if they are a free agent, actually, let me just make sure Giddey's not a free agent. No, he's not. If they're a free agent at the end of the season, I'm not going to allow myself to re-sign them and then trade them in order to help win a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're an expiring contract, you're gone. That's as far as I'm concerned. You have to be traded and under contract for this to kind of count. I only say that because I really wanted to do this trade and pick up Tyler Hero, who 2K really, really loves. But unfortunately, he's an expiring deal at the end of this season, and I'd have to re-sign him. So it's not a bad option with Josh Giddey. He's obviously a really good ball facilitator. I think he does a lot of things well. He obviously doesn't need to score the ball a lot to be impactful. I think Jamal Murray can do a lot of that for us. So the new starting 5 is figured out. We definitely do need to work on the bench a little bit. I think O'Shea Brissett's going to be gone because PJ Washington, hopefully, is going to be my backup power forward, and I am allowed to re-sign him just because he won't be actually starting next season. So O'Shea Brissett's going to either get me a new backup shooting guard or a backup center. We can look at some options real quick, and then we'll probably sign the other one. But again, I'm a little bit nervous about this team. Again, it's probably starting 5-wise is not bad. Power forward, Javonte Green. No, we don't need a power forward. We need a center or a shooting guard. It's not like a bad squad. KPJ, is that a first? That's a first. I don't want to give up a first-round pick. God damn it. Omer Yurtseven, that's another first. Ugh. Am I really doing this for Mo Wagner? This is pretty bad. 7-4. I mean, given he's like barely going to play, Hernan Gomez 5-5. All right, whatever. We'll go ahead and we'll take Mo Wagner here. Not the best backup center in the world, but it's fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and either sign a backup. Actually, yeah, I'm going to sign a backup shooting guard. My options, again, really not too great. So I'm going to actually sign Whiteside and then trade him because I'm getting as cheesy as I possibly can without really being too much over the top in today's video. So Whiteside for a shooting guard. This is probably going to be somebody who's more towards the end of the bench, but I just need somebody. Ooh, Peyton Pritchard could be fun. Really not a shooting guard, though. He's just a little bit too small. Dylan Windler, no. How tall is Terrence Mann? He's 6'5", right? What are his shooting stats? 36% from 3. It's not like exactly what I'm looking for, but if Peyton Pritchard wasn't... What's Peyton Pritchard, like 6'1"? Yeah. I'd love to have Peyton Pritchard on this team. I just don't... How tall is Tyus Jones? He's 6 foot. Yeah, that can't happen. All right, we're going to go ahead and we are going to take, where the hell is he? Terrence Mann here. It's not the best option in the world, but it's doable. Excuse me. I think it's doable for at least one season. So, Terrence Mann to the shooting guard spot. He's going to be a 78 overall. And now what we're going to do is trade Malachi Flynn for a first-round pick because we really need one, and I don't need Malachi Flynn. So, I'm going to get a first-round pick for him. We'll just do this deal here with the Milwaukee. Actually, that Bucks. Actually, I don't know who's on the Bucks. That team actually doesn't look too good. We'll take that Bucks pick. I will see you guys at the start of year number 2. Here's how it's going to look for season number 2. We are fresh off a championship. The entirety of the starting 5 is gone. And here is how it is going to be. Jamal Murray, Josh Giddey, Jason Tatum, Jonathan Kuminga, and DeAndre Ayton. I'm really happy with this team. And let me show you a couple things. So, starting with everybody in the starting 5 is locked up beyond this year, which is obviously huge because we don't just have to let them walk come off-season time. I'm going to probably be trading for anybody and everybody once this next offseason comes. But obviously our goal right now is to win a championship. Other than that, I want to show you some stats. So this is also why I'm betting on Kuminga. Because if we take a look at his numbers from last year, he was actually really solid. And again, I don't ever like to base anything on 36 numbers. They're obviously pretty much hypothetical. But something like this, and this is a really solid campaign for him. I think he's going to progress really well. I think he's going to be a good addition to this team. And obviously, DeAndre Ayton's a monster. Tatum, Giddey, and Murray. The bench is also a lot better than last year. Tyus Jones, PJ Washington, Mo Wagner, and Terrence Mann is definitely an upgrade from the bench we had last year. You can let me know what you think of the starting 5 from last year compared to this year, but I'm going to roll with this squad. Hopefully, we can go back-to-back. Started out 2-0. I'll see you guys at the end of the second season. Second season ends. We are once again a 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. Of course, nothing really matters until the playoffs. I also just realized, because I'm seeing how long I've been recording for. This is probably going to be a long video, so I'm sorry. Luka, your MVP. Chet Holmgren, Rookie of the Year in a Lakers jersey. That's crazy. Cole Anthony, 6th man. Jonathan Isaac, D. Point. Jonathan Kuminga, most improved. This is why we trade for him. And Dwayne Casey, your coach. There we go. 65-17. Hopefully good enough for a championship. We were 6 games ahead of the Cavs, and we were far and away the best team in the league. Record-wise, we can take a look at some numbers. Kuminga was actually our second leading scorer. Then it was Jamal Murray, DeAndre Ayton, Josh Giddey. I really got to get Jonathan Kuminga more. Dude's a stud. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead. We'll take a look at rebounds. That was Ayton, and assists was Jason Tatum. All right. Let's sim the play-in. We got the Milwaukee Bucks here in the first round. Garland, Ivy, Wagner, Miles Bridges, go fuck yourself. Andre Drummond, Brandon Clark, Markelle Fultz. Deep team. I think we're better, though. Why did they win game 1? That scares the shit out of me. Orlando, Dame, Isaac Okoro, DeAndre Hunter, Daniel Gafford, Jarrett Allen. So this was actually almost the trade I made for Kawhi, which would have been Dame and Jarrett Allen for Kawhi Leonard. And I think there was a couple picks in there as well. But yeah, let's see if we can get by the Orlando Magic here. I think we're, again, definitely the better team. We're 2-2 right now. We go up 3-2. That's big. And we're on to the East Finals. Did we face the Bulls last year? I think we did. I think we faced the Bulls last year. And Embiid and Simmons back on the same team. That's kind of funny if I didn't realize it last year. We go down 2-1. We're 2-2. Up 3-2. Oh my God, we're going to a game 7. I'm not hopping in. I'm just simcasting it just so I can kind of see what's playing out. Please don't blow this lead. Please don't choke this. There's no way we blow this, right? All right, they're fighting back a little bit, but no, we're good. Right? Yeah, we're good. We are on to the NBA Finals to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. LaMelo Ball, Colin Sexton, Hamidou Diallo, Jaren Jackson Jr., Robert Williams. This is the second straight team that I've played in the Finals. It just looks like they're really deep. Like they have a really good overall team. There's really obviously LaMelo and Jackson Jr. are probably, they're stars. They're not superstars at least yet, but they're stars. We have a superstar here in Jason Tatum, at least in my opinion. I think, again, we're the better team, and I think we should be winning this rather easily, honestly. We're up 3-0. And we're officially starting out 2-0 in the three-peat challenge. I love you, Jason Tatum. Unfortunately, I have to trade you now. It hurts so bad. But we do. Let's head up to the draft lottery. We definitely don't have any other picks, but I'll show you guys just so you can see it. Yeah, nothing there. So I'm really happy with this start. I honestly didn't think this is how we were going to start this, and I'm really happy that we did. Dwayne Casey, again, not my favorite coach in the world, but just won us back-to-back finals as our head coach, so I'm not moving him. We also have the 30th overall pick. I'm assuming I'm probably not going to get offered any first-round picks for this, so yeah, we'll just take 2 seconds. That's fine. Let's head up to team player options right now and see what we got. Giddey, Kuminga both coming back. Unfortunately, both are going to be traded. PJ Washington I actually can bring back because he was on the bench. So yeah, we don't have any money, which would have been cool. I would have loved to have some money. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and let's make some trades. This is going to be the trade we're doing, and it's a blockbuster one. We're going to get Shea and Rudy Gobert for Jason Tatum and DeAndre Ayton. Now, let me just preface that in a million years, I would never do this trade ever. I wouldn't. But Unfortunately, both these guys have to go, and we're replacing 2 starters with 2 really high-quality starters. So I was actually just sorting by overall, looking for who to trade. Like, if you actually sort just by player in the overalls, like, the highest that I legitimately could trade for was Shea. And so, obviously, maybe somebody like a Kyrie Irving or Devin Booker could have been a better option, but I honestly think they're on the untouchables. And Shea's obviously a really, really solid point guard if you take a look at his numbers. So, yeah, new point guard and new center. We definitely have to trade the rest of these 3 in order to get 3 new starters. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to send Jamal Murray to the Denver Nuggets along with a 2nd-round pick for Anthony Simons and a 1st-round pick. You know, it's not the craziest or worst trade in the world. It definitely could have been better. Jamal Murray's trade value in this game is not nearly as high as it probably should be without injuries on. But I'll take Anthony Simons, which means Shea's just going to move up to the shooting guard spot. Yeah, nothing changes in his overall. So, yeah, Anthony Simons will be running the point. Shea will be our 2, and then Gobert our 3. Or excuse me, our 5, and now let's go ahead and trade Giddey and Kuminga. Josh Giddey straight up for Desmond Bane. I'm going to start Desmond Bane at the 3. Maybe he's a little bit undersized, but this is 2K. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Actually, I think Shea goes up, but no, he doesn't. Somebody might have told me that. But yeah, Desmond Bane goes up at the 3 if you move him there. 16.5 points, 3.5 boards, 3.5 assists, 1 steal a game. That's not bad. At this point in time, with the way or the players we have under contract, that was probably the best trade I was going to get offered. It was either that or Jonathan Isaac, and I kind of preferred the scoring at this point in time. But yeah, now it's time for a power forward. We're going to take a huge risk here. We are going to take a huge risk here, and we are going to acquire Zach LaVine from the Houston Rockets for Jonathan Kuminga and Anthony Simons. We'll get Zeke Naji back. Let me explain to you my thought process right now. We're going to pick up Zach LaVine. I'm going to move Shea back to the point guard spot. The starting 5 is going to be as follows as soon as I go ahead and get PJ Washington back, who's going to be starting for me at the power forward spot now. There's really no rule against it. He ultimately was not my starter last year, so he can start this year. At least that's the way I see it. If you guys think it's cheating, you can let me know in the comment section. But I think we needed to add some more scoring to this team. There was really no other scoring options that I could trade for. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger on this trade. So welcome to the team, Zach LaVine. And this is how the team's going to be looking as of now. That's the starting lineup right there. Zeke Naji will be the backup. We do, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to probably roll. I'm going to actually trade Terrence Mann for a backup center or either a backup small forward because I don't really think I need him. I'm going to have Zach LaVine not have a backup. So center or small forward. Bohan's just a little too old for me. Monte Morris, I don't really need. Luke Kennard coming in here, be actually a pretty good shooter off the bench. He's actually pretty tall, I think. He's what, 6'5"? Yeah, he'll be my backup 3 behind Desmond Bane, good shooter off the bench. We now need a new backup center behind Rudy Gobert. Honestly, Dwight Powell is probably as good as it's going to get. And yeah, so, I mean, is this the best team we've had? Probably not, but it is what it is. Could I maybe trade PJ Washington and some picks and get an upgrade? We'll see. I probably should have paid him an actual contract, and then I would have probably done that. That probably would have been the best idea, yeah, because we have 3 trade offers. I'll either look for a trade or I'll see you guys at the start of year number 3. I was not able to find a trade for PJ Washington. I'm actually really mad at myself looking back. I should have given him a real contract, not just his qualifying offer, but I'm still pretty confident in this team. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Zach LaVine, Desmond Bane, PJ Washington, and Rudy Gobert is going to be the starting 5. The bench unit, Tyus Jones, Zeke Naji, Luke Kennard, and Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell. Is this a championship caliber team? I guess only time will tell. We're currently 2-0, have won 2 straight championships. Let's hopefully go make it a 3-peat. Final season complete, 3rd straight year. We are the 1 seed here in the East. Of course, it means nothing until we get to the playoffs. Ja Morant, your MVP in a Miami Heat jersey. The Miami Heat fans on the planet. Yeah, they pretty much have everybody photoshopped into a Heat jersey. So there's Ja if you didn't have him already, but I'm sure you do. Victor Wembanyama, your rookie of the year, is in Toronto. He also wins 6-man. I have no idea how he's not starting. Insane numbers off the bench. Anthony Davis, defensive player of the year. Oh, well, that explains it. You could have played AD at power forward. PJ Washington actually wins most improved. I was on the verge of trading him and actually pretty much had a career year. So I'll take that. Dwayne Casey, coach of the year. We go 62-20. Let's do it. We were the 1 seed again, as I mentioned, 7 games up in the Cavs for the 2 seed, and we had the best record in the league. Stats, Zach LaVine, 31.5 points a game. No matter what happens, I'm still very happy I made that trade. It's nothing against Anthony Simons. I think the trade ultimately benefited us quite a bit. Let's go ahead and sim the plan. We got the Milwaukee Bucks here in the first round. I believe we faced them in the first round last year, and we beat them in 6, I think, or 5. This time we beat them in 6. The Charlotte Hornets, Lonzo Ball, Cade Cunningham. Oh, my God. This is a terrifying big 3 right there. Our old friend Kawhi Leonard, who won a championship with us in year number 1, and we sweep him out of his own building. The Cavs, Mike Conley, Jalen Green, Cam Reddish. Oh, boy. Oh, God. I have avoided it until the final season facing Zion Williamson. And now we are having him in the East Finals, and we sweep him. What's going on? LaMelo, Suggs, Hamidou Diallo, Jackson Jr., Tingus Pingus. They have Rob Williams, Deshaun Highland, Benedict Mathurin. Another really good Timberwolves team there. Oh, no. Don't do this to me in the final season. I wanted to three-peat. Can we do it? We win 4 straight games, and the challenge is complete. Wow. I'm honestly really happy about this one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Before I started this video, I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. And then I got into the video, and I was like, there's definitely no way this is going to happen. And then it happened. So I had fun with this one, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. I thought this one came out pretty well, and honestly, I had a ton of fun doing it, and if you guys enjoyed it, leave a like down below. I definitely appreciate it. Of course, if you guys have not yet, could subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps me out a ton as well. Let me know any other challenges down below in the comment section. I complete this one, and I'm feeling on top of the world right now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.